Hello, I'm Martina Sobczak. I'm the head of speech and language resource at Thomas Tallis School.
How long have you been at Thomas Tallis?
I've worked here for 5 years now.
What are the difficulties with helping students in class?
We do have some difficulties when we help, when we support students in the classroom. Sometimes it doesn't help when the classrooms are very busy and there's a lot of disruption from other students. Sometimes we have to make sure that we never talk over the teachers who actually teach the lessons, and we need to just make sure that the content of the lesson is differentiated so all students obviously can access the content. Sometimes it's quite tricky because quite tricky things are being taught in lessons, but we try our best to make sure that students actually understand and access the content.
Do you think it is better to have students out of lessons and working in small groups?
I think it all depends on individual cases and on the subject as well. And I think it's nice to have a nice balance of students being included and being in mainstream lessons, and also some lessons to be withdrawn, to be taught actually in small groups. And I think it's important to keep the nice balance of the two.
How many students are attached to the speech and language resource?
At the moment we've got 16 students attached to the speech and language.
Do you think the speech and language resource is effective?
Of course I do. Of course I do. I think that our students appreciate our support and appreciate our help, and the staff in Thomas Tallis School appreciates our help and our supporting lessons. So I think we are doing quite a good job, yes.
Thank you for letting me interview you, and have a nice day.
You too.
Hello, my name is Sarah So. I work at Thomas Tallis School in the speech and language resource.
What is your position in the speech and language unit?
I am an LSA, which is a learning support assistant.
How long have you been here?
In April, I will have been, as of April, I've been working at Thomas Tallis for 6 years.
What years do you work with?
I mainly work with year 10 and 11. I do their options, and I think I have one class with year 8. I don't see the year 9s at all, but I'll be seeing them next year when they become year 10.
What do you find the most rewarding about your job?
The most rewarding aspect of my job, I think, is watching year 7s come into the resource, working with them, and then watching students grow up and mature and progress and take on new challenges, make friends and become successful young teenagers. So when they do finally leave and go on to further education, they have the confidence and skills to make them successful.
Do you think having a speech and language impairment puts students at a disadvantage?
I do. I do think it puts them at a little bit of a disadvantage. I think it does with any learning difficulty, but they can be overcome, and I think with support, progression is made and students go on to achieve very good results as far as their work's concerned, their levels, their GCSEs. So yes, and I think that's why it's, our students are good, because they do have to overcome difficulties and they do find things a little bit more difficult, but they are positive and they work hard and they make progress.
Thank you for letting me interview you, and have a nice day.
Thank you, Beth.
Hello, I'm Holly. I'm a trainee speech and language therapist working at Thomas Tallis.
How long is the training before you become a qualified speech and language therapist?
So the training takes 2 years and I'm 6 months into it, so I will qualify in September 2014.
What made you become a speech therapist?
I used to work as an actor, but I got a bit bored of being unemployed a lot of the time and wasn't earning any money. So I started thinking about jobs I'd like to do instead, and I realised I'm really interested in language and communication, and I wanted to do a job where I could be helping people. So.
Do you only work in Thomas Tallis?
No, so I'm here for 2 days, working 1 day with Julia and 1 day with Victoria. For the other 2 days that I'm on placement, I'm at primary schools with Victoria on Tuesday, and on Thursdays I'm on my own, visiting lots of different primary schools and having appointments with pupils and their parents.
Which school or provisions do you prefer to be in?
It's a difficult question. I enjoy all the different schools that I visit during the week. I think I find it a bit easier to work in primary than in secondary because that's where I have more experience. I have more experience working with younger children than young adults. So yeah.
How many students do you see altogether?
I think over the course of the week it's about 20 students that I have contact with.
How do speech and language difficulties impact on students' learning?
So there's lots of different ways that it can cause you difficulties with your learning. It might make it difficult for you to understand what a teacher's saying during class. It might make it difficult for you to say things out loud in class, and that can affect your confidence as well. And in terms of written work, it might make you have difficulties with your written work as well. So lots of different ways that it can impact.
Thank you for letting me interview and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Victoria Williams. I'm a speech and language therapist here at Thomas Tallis School.
How long is the training before you become a qualified speech and language therapist?
The training's 4 years to do a bachelor's at University of Speech and Language Therapy.
What made you become a speech therapist?
I always wanted to work with people, and I like the variety of people that you could help being a speech and language therapist.
Do you only work in Thomas Tallis?
No, I also work in some primary schools. I work in 4 other primary schools across the borough.
Which school or provisions do you prefer to be in?
I prefer Thomas Tallis because I prefer working with secondary school children.
How many students do you see altogether?
Altogether, on my caseload I'd say that there's over 200 children, but children that I see regularly is probably about 60.
How do speech and language difficulties impact on students' learning?
They can impact in lots of different ways. It might be from their attention and listening, making it difficult to focus in class, to what they understand from the class teacher and what they're saying, or it might be difficulties writing down some of the things that they have understood. So,
Right, thank you for letting me interview you and have a
it's
nice
my
day.
pleasure. Thank you.
The 5 main aspects of speech and language are speech sounds, talking, understanding, play and listening. Talking helps you communicate with other people. Understanding helps you learn and think. Speaking also helps you speaking loudly and clearly.